Hello, my name is Dennis Sietsma, Dennis John Sietsma Productions, Homestead, Florida, USA. It's August 17th, it's a Saturday, August 17th, 2024. The correct time Eastern is 8:49. It's got time and date on there too. 8/17, August 17. August 7th. Anyway, on the 16th, I got a lot done. Let me put it that way. Now, my outstanding problems at the moment is I have to ferret out the correct size and thread for the harmonic balancer, the crankshaft bolt that came on the Powertrain Products remanufactured engine. And some people have suggested that I go by a tap, different sizes, metric. That would be the most expensive way to ferret it out. And let's see, I was trying to reset the time. The batteries fell out of this thing, so it's not accurate time. Anyway, the other idea was to buy a bolt at the hardware store. I think it would be like an M10, or not M10, M12 in the thread 1.25, because 1.5 is like coarse and 1.25 is supposed to be fine. Or it could be an M16, but for now, since I got a little time here, I got what I'm going to do next, I'm missing a bolt for the upper plenum, so I'm not going to torque that yet. I'm waiting on valve covers to come in Sunday, and the new radiator and oil lines that I can't install until I get further along with the engine work, or I don't want to do it to. Anyway, let me talk about this 1992 to 1995 Spider, not to be confused with the later Spider. And if you need one of these, you can go on to eBay if you don't have a core to return and buy one. And the reason why core return is so important, and this is how it comes from GB Remanufacturing, is the maxi injector is really hard to come by, and most of the time a lot of times it's not a problem with the Spider. You've got either a failed regulator or a bad fuel pump. So I changed the fuel pump first in the tank because that's more affordable than trying to get the Spider. Now, if you have a core to send back, you can contact Rock Auto online or call them, and they will give you a authorization to ship to them, and then they ship it to GB Remanufacturing. So that is what you can do. And one day, if I had time, and I don't have time right now, or the inclination, I just don't have facilities, but I would take the Spider and I would show you how to use this fuel injection tester and check the spray on all 6 poppets. A homebrew way to do it, as opposed to sending it off to a shop. But basically, you'd set up the poppets to spray onto like a piece of paper, dry piece of paper of something that would show the pattern, and make sure that they're equal pattern and equal spray. And that would be one way, just a basic check of the fuel injection. But most of the time it's the regulator, and the regulators you can get, and they're adjustable pressure. And on my van I couldn't get the pressure up to spec. It has to be minimum 55 pounds with the engine running. If it's below 55, it's no good. But I couldn't, even with adjusting it, I couldn't get it up that high. And when I hit the accelerator, I got lean pop, backfiring, due to lack of, I'm not quite sure the physics of lean pop, but needless to say, it's a condition where you hit the accelerator and instead of going, it backfires somehow. But anyway, this one I got from Rock Auto by sending them my core. That's how I did it. And then I sent this off to a company, and they failed to tell me their minimum charge. And their minimum charge was more than, I want to show you the label on it. I need to cover that label up. Anyway, I told them send it back to me, and they did. They were honest people, but the problem was they didn't tell me about the minimum charge. So before you send it off to a fuel injector company, you want to make sure that their minimum charge isn't so expensive you might as well do something else, because you can get these on eBay Motors, but they're pricey, and the price depends on the source and, you know, conditions of the market, what have you. Now, the reason you'd want to stay with this if you have one of these on your Astro van, and that's my intended audience, is Astro van enthusiasts, especially the early 1985 to, I don't know, 1985 through 95, I think, is the first gen. I could be mistaken. Correct. Post a comment if you want to pipe in, audience. But that's my intended audience. That's why I get down into the weeds. And Delphi did the original system back in the day, which is why this is sitting in a Delphi box. And their part number was Foxtrot Juliet 10453. And I've got a good one in my van, and I got 2 spares, and I'm not going to sell these. These are too hard to come by, and who knows, you know, there used to be 2 remanufacturers and now there's 1, and you could still aspirate that engine though, but if you went with the Holly Sniper 2, you need a manifold and transmission controller, and that's the price. The price tag of keeping it the way you got it from General Motors is probably more affordable, and will be for the foreseeable future. But who knows how long it'll be before the government won't let you buy parts for gasoline powered engines, depending on how things go politically. Right now it's getting really hard to get parts for the older vehicles unless you have a way of locally manufacturing them. Anyway, I'm not going to go on that rant, but there could be a time where you can't get parts for gasoline fueled engines, you know, and the right to repair is a big thing, and that, you know, that's a big controversy, and also the controversy about do-it-yourself people, which is why I always say do it at your own risk or hire a professional. And nothing wrong with hiring a professional. I've done it, but I've been lucky. The professionals I've done business with were always very keen to help me and very keen to teach. When people have knowledge, they like to share it, and I've learned some tips and tricks from the professionals. So any of the pros out there, post a comment if, you know, and I'm not saying what I do is the best way to do it. I'm saying this is how I do it, because, you know, maybe out of ignorance, maybe out of, I just want to do it that way. Anyway, this is the 17th video diary, video log, documentary. It's not a how-to, it's a documentary on my project. And as soon as I get this sucker running, I probably won't be doing daily diary video. I got a bunch of them done already. I haven't put on the internet, but I don't want to saturate my audience. I'll put those up a little bit later. I'd rather get it to the point where it's drivable before I put those up, so you can see that I did have a good outcome. So thanks for watching. Okay, I would like to install a starter next, since I can, but I have to get this cable down to where the starter goes, and the way this works is this cable, that end of it goes to the alternator output, which is a single wire, and this end of the cable, let's see if I'm trying to see, it goes from the alternator to the starter, and this big purple wire, I gotta fix this. I gotta put some new protector on there. This is what I call protector, this plastic stuff. I can't remember if it goes under the engine mount or over to the starter, so I'll have to check the service manual on that. But the bolt, it only goes in this far, okay, and then it binds up, and I assume that this is the wrong thread, but this bolt goes smoothly all the way in on the core, so either they didn't check the crankshaft properly before they shipped it to me, or these are different threads, and I'm very confused. So I don't know if somebody in the audience knows, did they use a different crankshaft over the years? Did they change the bolt size, and if so, when, and what did they change it to? Because this appears to be like a 7/16 bolt, and so don't know. So anyway, I'll probably, plus I'll look for, try to ferret out the missing bolt here on the upper plenum, see if I can't find that somewhere. But today they said we were going to have monsoon rains, and it's beautiful weather today, and they said, well, the monsoon rain is there, but it stayed south of the mainland of Florida. It's in the Florida Keys. So, but it looks like good enough weather I can do some work today here. But I want to get this starter wired up, and we'll move on to the next segment here. But I wanted to tell you what my situation is. I'm trying to ferret out this crankshaft bolt thing, and waiting for the valve covers to come in, the new ones, and because this one's, that one on the passenger side has a hole in it in the vac. It disintegrated, and I got to put some plastic stuff on these wires here to protect them while I'm in here. So we're moving on to the next segment. Alright, as far as trying to get these upper plenum bolts figured out on the 1992 to 1995 CPI, you know, this bolt to me is only sticking up that much, so that's how much thread you got to tighten that bolt. To me, that's too short. So I went out and I bought a bolt I could better use, or I thought that was, but that one's actually too long, and I couldn't get that in a flange head like I wanted to. So I'm going to have to use what I got, and they got several sizes of these bolts that came with the car. So, but I lost one or misplaced one. But anyway, this is the right. You can tell that that is the right length for that bolt there, because how much it sticks up. Okay, the 4 out of 10 I know where they go. These two are for the ignition coil, and they have no serration, no E7 or E6 Torx on those studs. There's 2 studs on the other side that are Torx, but let me move around the vehicle all 10. So 4 I know for sure. This one is by guess or by golly, because I know that that top part, well, like I say, that one doesn't seem to be in there very well either, as far as how many threads. But this one, it holds some spark plug retainers, spark plug wire retainers, and hard to believe I used to do media work for my union as electrical engineer. Used to talk on TV. Now I can barely talk even into this camera. Anyway, moving around the vehicle, there's other bolts I need to worry about as far as the right length. There's a long one that goes right in the center of the plenum here, right there where my finger is behind, and that one needs to be a long, why can't I get this on camera? That one needs to be a super long bolt, like 60 millimeters or so, and it goes right in the center here of the intake. And finally found out where to put it there. Okay, and then this one is long enough, so the way it's sticking up, you can tell. And then this one over here is enough. I get too much reflection on the monitor, I can't even see my fingers. Okay, that one there. Okay, so, and then the 2 on the side are pretty obvious because they have the Torx to let you put the stud in and out. And roosters are at it. Anyway, this one you got a E6 Torx to put the stud in, and this one you got E6. Oh, come on. So these 2 bolts here are pretty obvious, and I think there's one more I'm missing here somewhere. But anyway, you can torque these down, but I'm not real happy with the lengths. I may do more research on this from my notes and then order some different bolts. And but for now I want to get this running, so I'm going to use the bolts I have, and I'll torque these down to spec and then the pattern set in the service manual. And you can see the damage there to the valve cover where it disintegrated there on the passenger side and the rear. And I didn't know that I didn't know about that until I handled it, and it disintegrated in my hand. So thanks for watching this segment. We'll go on to the next segment. Okay, it looks like we're going to have heavy rain outside. It's 10:36 on the 17th of August 2024. I'm looking at this bolt on the crankshaft, and it's a 7/16 National Fine, I think. I'm trying to confirm that with taps and dies, but these are my grandfather's. Had a lot of engineers in my family, apparently, metallurgists, etc. on both my grandfather and mother's side. But I'm going to need my reading glasses to read these markings. But I'm looking for a 7/16 National Fine and see if I can chase the threads. I found if I forced it a little bit, I could get this bolt to go in the crankshaft on the Powertrain Products remanufactured engine. So this may well be the correct bolt for the crankshaft. The harmonic balancer from the old core may work on the new one, but I have to confirm this, and I want to clean up the threads on that crankshaft. So I may have to go to Home Hardware in Homestead and find a 7/16 National Fine. I have a lot of the National Course 7/16, but I can't seem to find the National Fine. And I bought this Mechanic's Choice tap and die set at AutoZone some time ago, and it's been a good one. And this is an old Craftsman set I've had since the 70s, and this is my grandfather on my mother's side. He was a postal carrier, but a brilliant man, great artist, very friendly. But anyway, getting back to the CPI again, I have to correct myself. You send it directly to GB Remanufacturing, but you have to give a Rock Auto number. And this is the regulator. You can get the regulator almost anywhere online. I don't know where I got this one, but I'll take a picture of it and post it. And my research on regulators, because it seems like there's a lot of companies that make the regulator. I mean, a lot. You can find the regulator almost anywhere on the internet, online, or at the auto parts stores. You can't get the maxi injector, and you can't get the core. At least if you can't, I haven't found a source yet. So if you know a source, post a comment, please. But anyway, back to the bolt, and I got to cover up the engine because it's going to rain like cats and dogs apparently. So we'll move on to the next segment. We'll segue into that. Thanks for watching. Okay, audience, here comes those monsoon rains that were in the weather forecast today, and they said it was going to be hard and heavy and long once it comes in. It was supposed to stay south of Florida City, stay in the Florida Keys, but here she comes. So got everything tarped up again real good, and I'm gonna have to work on other things until I can come back out and play. Okay, audience, Astro van enthusiasts, aficionados, it's 11:56 a.m. on the 17th of August 2024. The weather's improved a little bit. I'm down into the weeds trying to identify the threads on this bolt for the harmonic balancer that goes into the crankshaft. And I would have thought when they selected a crankshaft, they would have checked the threads and cleaned them, and this bolt is going smoothly if it matches. But I'm trying to find a tap now, and I think that's 7/16 national fine. But in my die collection here, I've got 7/16 by 14, which that would be national course, and as it says it NC on the die, so 7/16 by 14 and 7/16 by 14 and 7/16 by 20. I got those, so that should match the bolt. This should be the one here. But it isn't. For some reason it just won't go into that die the way I want it to. I'll flip it over because it says start with this side first. Sorry to be in the weeds, but this video, the target audience is people that really want to know this stuff, not just your average automobile driver, soccer mom, whatever. Anyway, I just can't get that, so I'm going to take this bolt into Home Hardware, and the agents there, see if they can match this up for me. Of course, Mitchell Welding Supply near the Falls, but they're closed today. But I got a few days to ferret this out, but I think this bolt is going to work, and I think I can get the harmonic balancer on there. But I wanted to clean the threads out on the remanufactured engine first, So while I'm fooling around with the tap and die set, or die sets, I'm trying to identify what the threads is, and I thought everything was SAE, but this bolt for the upper plenum, and the same thing on the EGR valve, that was supposed to be SAE, but that turned out to be metric, and it was SAE, and the Chevy dealer sold me, but that was years ago, and that dealer, you know, who knows why or how, but turned out it was metric for the EGR valve, the two bolts that hold it. Anyway, this is saying, this fits, and this is saying, the markings on it says it's a M7 1.0. So but that's the bolt for the manifold, and I have to look through my notes to see if I looked this up before, for to hold the upper plenum to the lower intake. And I want to get this in like 50 and 60 millimeters long, because the bolts come in 40, 50, 60, or 40 and 60 at least, and 60 would probably be too long. So anyway, I'm down into the weeds here real deep, trying to do the best I can to get this going, and I do need to go get a harmonic balancer installer tool. So anyway, I got to go talk to some people. I always tell people online, sometimes you got to go talk to people. I mean, you can't just do all this research online and hope it comes out right. Sometimes you got to, people know things, and if you talk to them face to face, because over the phone's kind of different. I like to do face to face as much as I can, given traffic in Miami. So again, thumbs up if there's any good information here, but at least it gave me a chance to go through my kit here. These are all national course on this side, and they're all well stamped and marked. These are all metric on this side of the kit. This mechanics tap and die set, and then these are my grandfather's dies. Sadly, he went to go with God, be with God in 1980. He was a wonderful man. He helped me a lot. So anyway, yada yada yada. We will carry on. Thanks for watching. Checking a little bit more, I did find a 7/16 I can't get this on camera. 7/16 by 20. 7/16 by 20. Says NF, National Fine. And there's a right way and a wrong way to do this. But this is National Fine. It is 7/16 by 20. And you put the bolt in on one side, and by putting it in there, and get the washer out of the way, I found this is the right size apparently, although this bolt is not an exact fit. It's it does go in, and it's not binding, and when you run the thing down, you're not damaging the bolt by cross threading or anything. You can see where I've run the die down like just a few threads into it, so as to not to compromise the integrity of the bolt. But I think I've saved myself a trip to town now. I'm still going to go to AutoZone and get the tool, because I believe in using the install tool, because you can damage things or the crankshaft threads if you don't use the right tool to install the harmonic balancer. So it's about lunchtime now. It's 12:08 Eastern time, and same day, August 17th, 2024. So that said, I will try to get an installation tool and pick up some lunch somewhere and then come back. And again, audience, thank you for watching. Okay, doing online research. I ordered a tool from Amazon for like 20 bucks. If it doesn't work, I can send it back. But it says fits big and small block Chevy crankshafts. Made of high quality steel. It has ends for 5/16-16 and 7/16-16. Now 7/16, that's an odd size. That's not national coarse or national fine, because national coarse I think is 7/16 by 14 and 7/16 by 20, unless I'm mistaken. Anyway, I'm going to order it and see if it works. It says it works. If it doesn't, I can send it back. But the cool thing with this tool is, you notice the bearing. This bearing is really important. Really important on these tools, because you want to take the load off the thing. You don't want to force the harmonic balancer on at an angle. And I've seen people use a threaded rod in a socket, but it also has a bearing. And this tool is affordable, and it's Amazon, so you can send it back if it doesn't work. So I'm going to give this a try. But I'm puzzled about these thread sizes, this 7/16 by 16, because looking through my box of taps and dies. Anyway, I'm down into the weeds about as deep as I can get without actually going out in the world and buying things and seeing if they fit. And I have some time to do things. And I looked at AutoZone online, and they don't have a harmonic balancer installation tool like this one in their inventory. I could be mistaken. Gonna go out and get lunch anyway. It's almost 1 o'clock, and I'll stop at AutoZone and see if I'm mistaken, because sometimes what they have online and what they have in the store are two different things. So again, audience, isn't this a lot of fun? But somebody posted something to my Facebook a minute ago saying, my son got a remanufactured engine, and the thing had rod knock a year later. So I'm like, well, I don't know if this is going to be a high mileage or low mileage hauler once I get that deep into it. I don't know. I may use it for long haul or not. I've been wanting to find a way to get my tropical fruit up to North Florida, where they have a market for South Florida tropical fruits, but the cost of fuel and tolls eats up just about any profit of trying to do that, which is why we sell to packing houses. And the packing house, I don't know how they do it. I guess they have their own trucks or something, but they somehow get it to Whole Foods and all the chains. But you will not find high quality produce unless you go to a farmer's market. If you go to the chain stores, what they get is picked over after the farmer's markets, and what's picked over by the 5-star restaurants all over the country, or all over the world actually. They'll fly an avocado anywhere for the right amount of money. So the really gourmet restaurants get the best stuff. And everything's graded and processed and weighed and whatever by the packing house, and also inspected. So that's the reason why it's really hard to get good stuff. Getting it from my hands off the tree and into your hands is a challenge. But there's a company that does specialty shipping like Miami Fruit. They're online. They're good people. They come and pick my trees, and for the right amount of money, they'll pack and ship. So I like MiamiFruit.org. And also Brooks Tropicals does the same thing, and I sell to both of them. But what I have on my tree is actually the best. And people see what I pick off my tree, and they say, "Oh, that looks wonderful. How do I get it?" And I'm like, well, you know, unless you come and see me here in Homestead. Anyway, I'm rambling again. Anyway, Astro Van fans, hope you're having fun here. And it's a journey trying to swap out an engine. And I haven't swapped out an engine in, oh man, I can't tell you how many years. I think last time I did it is I pulled my boat engine out, my 3.7 liter Mercruiser, and I took it to a local machine shop, and I had to do it twice. And I had different resources then. So at Dalton Marine, Jeff Dalton was alive, the late Jeff Dalton Senior. I think his son, the younger Jeff Dalton, I think he's still around Homestead, and I don't know if they still own Dalton Marine or not. I haven't seen them in a while. But Jeff Dalton Senior would let me use his gantry crane to get the engine in and out of the boat. And he had two of them, and I bought stuff from him all the time when I was working a lot on my boat, my 1989 Beretta Success 200. Anyway, this is a lot of fun. I like doing this stuff. I had a lot of engineers in my family apparently, and technical people. So one of my favorite comic strips is Dilbert, and he talks about engineers having the knack. And both my biological sons are engineers, so, and I'm an electrical engineer, electronic engineer. I didn't used to call myself that, but Miami-Dade College, formerly Miami-Dade Community College, last time I pulled up my transcript, it said I had Associate of Science degree in Electrical Engineering Technology, which is what the senior universities like Florida International University, and they're all going to this EET degree because they said there was a need in industry for people that can get down into the weeds and talk to the engineers back at the plant, or talk to the installers and speak the same language, the same engineering language to the technical people installing the systems when they run into problems. And so that was what the electrical engineering technology. And I don't know, I probably need for that somewhere in the automotive and marine industry for technical support. And that'd be a job I'd love to do if I was qualified. And I'm not. I can do the work, but I don't have qualifications for doing that kind of thing. And I think there are companies that do that. You pay them a fee and they give you technical support. But, you know, I wonder if whatever you would get is better than what I'm doing right here, which is trial and error and making mistakes and talking on social media. So give me a thumbs up if you like it, and I appreciate my new subscribers. I think I picked up 100 subscribers in just a few weeks. I had 300 subscribers over the course of, I think, 6 or 7 years, and now I have 100 more. And my goal to get monetized is 4,000, but I don't think it's, you know, this stuff is, the audience for this kind of thing is probably real small. Although Vice Grip Garage is doing real well. And also I Do Cars. Hi Eric, love your stuff. Vice Grip Garage, love your stuff. The guy shows you down to the nuts and bolts and into the weeds. And but But some of the stuff some of the stuff he does is sketchy, and I think he puts his body at risk with some of the things he does. And so be careful, Vice Grip Garage. I think you ought to at least put new brake lines on those things. And a lot of these TV shows, I mean, if you don't know the history of an engine, pull the spark plugs. Number one. Put some Marvel Mystery Oil into the cylinders, and then gently take a ratchet and socket and turn the harmonic balancer, the crankshaft, turn it through by hand in the normal direction that the engine runs, not opposite. A lot of engines go clockwise, is how they run. There's very few that are counterclockwise. But there are engines that do run counterclockwise, so you have to look into the specs. But turn it through by hand, because you don't know if there's water in the cylinders. You don't know if the piston rings are rusted to the cylinders. You don't want to break the, first thing I see on these cars, so throw in a lightning cube. Yeah, put a battery in it and hit the starter and Katie bar the door. If it starts, great. If it explodes. But I think, I don't know, I think a lot more of them explode than they're showing on the TV. Those TV shows are fantasies. This is the real stuff here. The problems you run into when you actually try to do this kind of work. And do-it-yourself work can be dangerous, so do it at your own risk. And this is a documentary, not a how-to. So, hope you're enjoying watching, maybe on a sleepless night. So, thanks for watching. Okay, double checking my taps and dies. 716 by 20 is national fine. So, I don't know, I guess that bolt on the crankshaft for the Chevy small blocks, it said it was 716 by, what did I say, 16? Very confusing. Curiouser and curiouser, as they said on Alice in Wonderland. Anyway, audience, it is 12:56 on the 17th now, and getting hungry, and I'm halfway tempted just to use the bolt to put on this harmonic balancer, but since I ordered it, I'm going to wait for it, and I'll move on to work on the starter and exhaust manifold, putting those on, weather permitting. Okay, the upper plenum bolt, the one I have here, I don't know where I got this or when, I don't remember, but that one's like 80 millimeters long, which this is SAE, so that doesn't mean a whole lot to us. So 80 millimeters on, it's 80 millimeters on the top, and on the bottom it's right about 3 inches would be 80 millimeters. 75 millimeters would be right about 3 inches, give or take. 70 millimeters or 60 millimeters, another common size, would be 2 1/4, give or take. And 40 millimeter, another common size for bolts, is like 1.5 inches when you compare millimeters to inches on this tool. And where did I get this tool from? I think I ordered this online. Oh, stainlesstown.com. So that's where I got this tool, and it's been pretty handy. I've got some other tools too, but I need to buy a better caliper, I think. These plastic ones are nice because they're cheap, and if you lose them or break them, you're not crying. You get those at Harbor Freight pretty easily, but having a good digital caliper would be even better. So gonna go to the next segment after. I think I'm gonna go get some lunch, and then we'll do some more. had some heavy rain. It's still the 17th of August 2024 at 6:07 in the p.m. Eastern Time. Now, I went through my taps and I found I have a 7/16-20 National Fine bottom tap, and I ran the tap into the crankshaft of the remanufactured engine and cleared out whatever was giving me trouble. So now the bolt goes in real nice. The bolt that came from the core from the old engine, the bolt for the harmonic balancer, goes in real nice. And online, thank you for the different groups, Astro and 4.3 liter V6 high performance, those different sites. Thank you so much for confirming that it's 7/16/20 National Fine. And so I overcame that problem, I think, except I'm still waiting for the harmonic balancer installer tool. I'm gonna wait for that. Now that thing online says it's 7/16/16. Yeah, 7/16-16 SAE, which can't be. I think there's a mistake on the description that I will confirm when I get it, to see if the because it has a 5/8 inch and a 7/16, and the only difference is the thread. So when that arrives, which is supposed to be in tomorrow night at midnight or before midnight on Monday, I'll confirm that whether the thing I bought for 20 bucks online to install the harmonic balancer works or not. And if it doesn't work, I'll send it back. If it does work, I'll think about keeping it. It's a handy tool to have. So that's progress, I think. At least I know what taps and dies I've got now. I got a better idea. I know I got some 7/16. I remember having a problem a long time ago where I needed to buy the different taps that I didn't have from my grandfather's collection from way back when. And so hope all of this is interesting, or some of it is. I listened to my own voice the other night on the video diary documentary about the van, and it was almost 2 hours, and I got sick of hearing my own voice. So that was the 16th, now is the 17th, and thanks for watching. Oh, I failed to mention, delivered today was the valve covers from Rock Auto, and they look really nice. And also the radiator from Rock Auto. The box looks a little beat up. I haven't had a chance to take the radiator out and inspect it, but the box looks like it suffered. So I'll pull a radiator out and inspect it here pretty soon. And also got some more of my chemical stuff that I like so much. I got some more ACF 50 corrosion preventative. That arrived. Stuff is a little bit more expensive than WD-40, but I like it better for corrosion prevention. It's an aircraft product actually designed for corrosion prevention, whereas WD-40 is water displacement formula number 40, which is a great metal cleaner or parts cleaner. That's what it's designed to do, but it was never intended to be a corrosion preventative agent. And if you do online research, you'll see that they tell you that, the WD-40 people. But everybody thinks WD-40 is so great, but they haven't tried ACF 50. I really like ACF 50 as a product for corrosion for the intended purpose, corrosion preventative. Again, thanks for watching. I'm gonna turn off the camera. This may be the last for today. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, it's still August 17th, 2024. It's in the evening. this is probably going to be the last segment. Rock Auto stuff got here, but the radiator is the wrong one. Notice there's no oil cooler on the left, and there is a transmission cooler on the right, but this is the wrong one. Now, I could have swore I ordered the correct one, but I checked my order, and apparently I made a mistake and ordered the wrong one. So I generated a return, and I got a FedEx return label. Of course, I'm going to have to pay for the return shipping. And I asked for a credit because I intended to order the correct one. And oh man, it's hard for me to figure out how to get that credit. But anyway, I'm going to pack this up and get it back to FedEx somehow, which in Homestead, I don't even know where the FedEx return, I know where it is at Miami International Airport, but I don't know here in Homestead, or I'm going to have to schedule a pickup, which is not easy because they always come when I don't expect them. And if you're not there at the front gate with bells on, you know, at the front gate of the farm, waiting for them, then, you know, they just say miss pickup or something. Well, I don't know how FedEx is, but, you know, anyway, I'm so upset about this. I'm not happy. And I did get the valve covers. Those look fine. I'm happy with that. And some of the hardware came in, the different nuts and bolts. And I did run the tap on the crankshaft of the van. I found that I had a 7/16 National Fine tap, and I ran it through there, and now the bolt from the old engine, the core I'm going to return, now goes into the crankshaft just fine. So I'm waiting for the harmonic balancer install tool to come in, because I'm curious. You know, I don't want to install it until the tool arrives, and see. I want to see how that tool works. And thank you, people on social media, the different Facebook groups and YouTube where I posted, oh, just beat it on with a block of wood. Yeah, I know that method. But I was hoping to get the right install tool and not have to resort to brute force. Well, I've done it that way for years. Okay, thank you. I didn't say it was wrong. I just saying I prefer to use the tool if I can get the tool. And I've been to AutoZone and I can't get the tool. So this is probably the last segment for the 17th of August 2024. And I'll get this boxed up, and I'll get it back to FedEx somehow. But I ain't driving to Miami International Airport to drop it off. And I'm going to be determined how to get the store credit. Now the weird thing about Rock Auto is I don't see a phone number to call them on. So maybe I'm missing it, but I'm studying their website, and it looks like it's all automated, or you're out of luck. But I want to order the correct radiator. I don't know how I didn't order the correct one, but they sell the correct one, you know, in the Spectra line. And I bought Spectra stuff in the past, and I'm perfectly happy with it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and tomorrow's another day, and we'll see what we can. I may have to skip a day because I have a problem. I have a problem I have to deal with on Sunday, so I may have to skip tomorrow on the 18th. Thanks for watching. This is the end of the video. This is the end of the video diary for today.